Motion to motion to review and approve the closed the study session agenda.
Move to approve.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstained? Seeing none. Motion carries. We are now into study session. Any public comments from the public? Seeing none, we'll turn it over to study session agenda item number 8. MUSD 2025 CASP results study session.
Thank you so much for being here. We are excited to present to you our CASP update. I will move us forward. Today we have a look at just a broad overview of MTSS and street data. Really, I was inspired to adjust the presentation a little bit by questions that came up in the board last month around hey, MTSS, how are we doing on that? CASP is one of the ways that we reflect back how we're doing on that. So we will share that today. We will have the data, but also personal narratives to bookend that, and then we'll do some deep dives into the data. And I invite you all to help me in keeping with time. We kind of split this up into 2 chunks where we are doing some interacting and talking with folks, and then the dive into the data. As I was saying earlier, one of the things that I really like to do is bookend data for you. One with what are the numbers and what are the numbers telling us? That's the satellite level data. And I bookend that with the level 3 data, which is this personal narratives and testimonies. I hope that that gives you a fuller picture as you are supporting us as a learning and development team and us as a district with directions and recommendations and next steps. Because I think if you look at numbers alone, they might not often tell you what exactly is working in our system and what we want to replicate. Our work is deeply committed to our strategic commitments. We are, when we look at the data, when we hear the stories, when we think about our systems and how we're improving them, this is all about continuing to build and refine our culture of our communication systems, and engaging our parents, students, and staff in that decision-making process, in the ability to tell the story of who we are and what this data reflects. So you see here on this side of the tables, leaders from learning and development, and we are partnered strategically with students, parents, and site leaders, as well as a teacher from MHS. And this is all working with the goal of developing, fostering a thriving learning community for all of our students. And in particular today, we're going to shine some spotlights on how are we doing for our Latinx students, our students of African ancestry, and our students with disabilities, as well as our English learners. So in thinking about Tier 1, or first thinking about MTSS, MTSS is our multiple tiered systems of support. And we have the potential here to create systemic change through intentional design and redesign of services and supports that quickly identify and match the needs of all students. What I want to point out is that these tiers, in particular Tier 1 and 2, are very fluid, right? From week to week, and particularly when we look at 10-week cycles, students might be moving between them. And you might be in Tier 1 for ELA, but Tier 2 for math, right? So at any given time, sometimes we have questions like, well, I want to know how many students are in this tier. We can most often give you a concrete answer on Tier 3, but the others are very fluidly moving between each other. So this brings us to our theory of action, and our big bets here, particularly in learning and development, is that if we have strong curriculum and focused professional development around our curriculum and research-based instructional practices, then we will have a stronger, more coherent Tier 1 learning experience for our students. As they move, again, this is to leverage the strengths of being a unified school district. So when students move from elementary to middle school to high school, that they have coherent experiences And we've provided the supports along the way so that all students are ready to meet us at grade level. And there's no blame, right? It's easy when you're just in an elementary district for the secondary schools to say, well, it's the problem over there, or vice versa. But here we can work in an integrated and collaborative manner. And when we do that, we believe that we are able to support our students who are even coming in below grade level to make not just annual growth, but stretch growth, so that they are able, that stretch growth means more than a year's worth of growth, so that they can work in the grade level content.
I'd like to ask the board for the opportunity to hold one question. If I can get each of the students to tell me who they are, what grade they're in, and why they're here.
Sure. We will introduce them formally in a few minutes, but you want to do it now? Okay, go for it. So if you all don't mind sharing the mic. So if you could share your name, what grade level, what school, and maybe why you were invited to share today. Turn it.
Hi, my name is Sophia Avila. I'm a junior in MHS, and I'm here for the the mentoring program.
Hi, my name is Sarai Avila. I'm from MHS and I'm a junior, and I'm also here for the mentoring program.
Hi, I'm Leah Kaninda. I'm a ninth grader at Innovation MHS Extension, and I got good CAS scores.
My name is Mubiri Kaninda. I'm Cleo's dad.
We know them. We're here for you. Right? This is the work that we
Sorry,
do.
they said
Right.
student, so I didn't say anything, but I'm Kamal Gill, and English teacher at MHS, and I'm also here for the mentor program.
Thank you for being here.
Hello, I'm Dr. Shannon Sosa. I'm a coordinator too of English learners and math literacy interventions. As you can see on our slide, we have our MTSS pyramid. MTSS is important to have identified supports within the different tiers. That could be programs such as interventions, as well as educational apps to support students' needs. These supports can weave in and out of our Tier 1 and Tier 2 supports. For example, BrainPop ELL is one of our educational apps, which can be seen as a Tier 1 support for teachers to utilize in the classroom, as well as a Tier 2 support for our intervention TOSAs who are working on specific skills with students in intervention groups. Also, students can use that at home. So that's just an example of weaving in and out of a Tier 1 and Tier 2 support. Next slide, please. Preeti had shared our Tier 1 MTSS statement. With MTSS, all students receive Tier 1 supports, but sometimes our students need the additional supports to help them reach grade level access. Our Tier 2 statement says, if we implement Tier 2 interventions systematically, both during the school day, before and after school, to support unfinished learning and academic skills in the areas of ELA and math, then students will be able to increase access to grade level curriculum, so they're able to thrive academically. And that's what we want. We want to provide the supports for our students to thrive academically. Two structures in the Tier 2 level, if you can go back a slide, that we have built up is our Newcomer Academy in our after-school tutoring program. Last year, we supported about 170 newcomer students who have been in the country 3 years or less and had an LPAC level of 1. This program supported 1st through 12th grade students and provided family support as well. We're happy to say that 36% of the students who participated increase their LPAC level 1 to 3 levels. So what this means is, with targeted support, The 36% of students moved from emerging speaking students to fluent or almost fluent in just 12 weeks. So this means that these students are more ready to have access to grade level curriculum, and they are not falling further behind.
And you're going to say how many students we're going to have in the Newcomer Academy this year?
Yes, we're very happy that we will be doing Newcomer Academy again. This year, Mr. Patino and myself have collaborated, and we are not doing one 12-week cycle, we're doing two 10-week cycles. So we're very, very excited for that.
Yes.
And the number of students that we are targeting for next year, or for this year, is about 190 students.
Each program?
190.
Each program.
For, yes, for each round of the
So
cycles.
that'll be 380 for the year.
We'll have repeat in cycle 1 and cycle 2. So we may have students exit depending on how they're doing, but have students remain with us. We really want to target our students who really need that, that language support.
How long does it take to get the, that's my one question. See, I said I'd give up a question for you guys to say your thing, so I'm gonna hold my question.
Thank you. A support we brought to MHS last year was our EL mentorship program. We paired students with a certificated member on campus to help guide students through the second semester. Mentors met with students 2 hours every week to really give them that personalized attention. And as you just learned, we have 2 students who participated and a teacher who participated. So you'll be able to hear their accounts later. And then finally, we have really built up our high impact tutoring for our 3rd through 6th grade students who are 1 or more grade levels behind. And this has really become an established practice within our district. Next slide, please. Research shows that students who earn stretch growth for 2 years in a row are able to get back on grade level. For this reason, showing the impact of 1 year tutoring can be hard to measure on a metric like CASP. That said, there is still very promising data and trends that we'd like to highlight on this graph. Looking at the first arrow, it's exciting to see that 55% of our students who participated in AIR tutors made more than typical growth on CASP compared to their peers who did not participate. Typical growth on CASP this year was an increase of 47 points on the scale score. Students in AIR tutors are more likely to make their stretch growth than peers. In particular, you can see that our low income and Hispanic students, our 2nd and 3rd arrows, were more likely to make stretch growth than their peers who did not participate. Additionally, 23% of our students, of our English learners who participated in AIR tutors, were able to earn an LPAC 4, which opens the door for reclassification. So we were really excited for that growth. 5 or 10% may not seem like a lot, but please remember, we are not comparing apples to apples. We're comparing students who are identified for AIR tutors who are 1 or more grade levels below to students who are on grade level or above grade level. So we are showing that the impact of the program is helping students. It is starting to close the achievement gap, so students are not falling further behind their peers. Next slide, please. This year, the typical mean scale for increase for math was 43 points. So overall, 63% of our students who participated in AIR tutors math had a higher scale score change from 24 to 25 than our peers who did not participate in AIR tutors. So we're really excited to see the positive impacts of our program. As we shift into CAS data, please keep in mind our students with disabilities, our long-term language learners, and our African ancestry students, because you will see, especially in the elementary, the impact it made on their CAS scores.
So we just shared some of the structural pieces that we have in place and some of the high-level data, right? And we're going to dig more into that. But before we do that, we wanted to shine some light on areas that we have done particularly well as a district, but then also tap into the people to understand what was your experience, right? And how did that lead to where we are? So I'm going to do a little bit more intro, but we're hoping to keep this section to 20 minutes. We'll have them start off by sharing pieces and then also interacting with you. So it's no longer 6:15, but like 6:25, 6:30. That we want to end. So what we really wanted to shine light on was Randall Elementary. They have made tremendous growth in their math scores. They are our only school in our district this year that made double-digit growth in the areas of math. I also got to say, Spangler and Zanker also made substantial growth, about 7%, but 14%. It's hard to beat. So we're going to learn what's the secret sauce behind that. What did they do? And then we as a district also improved significantly with our long-term English learners. This is a group of students, right? The population changes because as you develop that language proficiency, you move out of EL or LTEL group. But we want to talk to our students again about like what was it in your experience that is helping you to build the skills and the confidence to transition out. And then also as a district, we really wanted to shine a spotlight on our Black African ancestry students because historically as a district, this is an area of growth for us. And we have been bringing intention and attention to this through our work around climate and culture and belongingness and connections with, but wanted to then dig into what is it in your experience that you believe is really leading to the changes? Because I think we can actually get more concrete in naming the practices here. So we had, why is this not? Oh, there we go. So we have some questions. These are similar to questions that we shared last time. But I'm going to ask our, maybe first Komal, if you don't mind kicking us off since Shannon was just talking about the mentoring program, describe it from your perspective, but really thinking about from your perspective, like what do you feel like led to the gains for the students? What do you think is important that we maintain? And then the same questions for you, Soraya and Sophia.
Hi, again, I'm Kamal Gill. I'm an English teacher at MHS, and last year I was part of the EL mentoring program. I had 4 mentees, one which was one of my own students, and that was helpful because, you know, I saw that student every day. But what really I think led to success was being able to provide targeted support, and that always started with emails to each of their teachers to see what were they doing in class, how were they behaving, you know, if there's behavioral issues, or is it more that they're not completing work? And so once I figured that out, I was able to reach out with the student and like build a rapport. And so building that rapport was like, at least with the 2 sisters here that I have, with them, it was to really figure out what their personality was like and where I could meet them. And so we felt like we had a pretty good rapport, and that helped. I was working with them to empower them to take a lead in their learning, to like take responsibility for their grades. And so I always made sure to meet when it was convenient, so they didn't feel like I was like another parent that's like, do your work, but more so where they felt that they wanted to show me that like, look, I improved, I turned in this late work. And so yeah, I think those were the things that led to success. And I feel like we have a good relationship that they were willing to come today to present. And also, although we haven't started the program this year, I still keep up with their grades. And so I still message them and ask them to come by during lunch and just check in.
Well, I like that she was really like
Can't
supportive.
hear
Oh, I like that she was really supportive towards me and my sister, and she really cared about our grades because I never really saw like a teacher that really cared that much about it. She would always tell us to meet every like 2 days or 1 days during lunch, and sometimes after school, and like she would help us like with our English homework, our math, and like mostly on the subjects we would really struggle with. And she was really friendly, and she was really nice. She was like a really nice person to trust.
Say a little bit more. Like, what makes her nice? How did you build trust with her? Right? Because there's an art and a skill to that. Like, what should we look for in future mentors?
Do you think all kids should have this program? And if so, why?
Well, I think the kids who are like doing bad should have it, because if the kids who already have good grades, like they're already on track, and I feel like the kids who don't have, who have bad grades should have a mentor, because they probably really need someone support, a teacher who they could trust, and someone who will keep track up like on their grades and everything with them.
Thank you. Let's ask the question too. Help him out.
So, just before I let you go, what makes a good mentor for you? Yeah, either one, yeah.
For me, for me, a good mentor would be someone who's trustworthy, someone that shows that they actually care for you and that they actually want to see you improve in your in life and in your school, and also that they're really friendly and that you could trust them. Something that things that I liked about the program was that she actually showed that she cared. Cause for me, like, I don't want to be rude, but like my teachers, I don't know, I would go up to them, they wouldn't like seem interested when I would tell them like what can I do to fix my grade, but Ms. Gill, she would tell me like things I could do to fix my grade, and and
You're doing fine. You're doing good.
sorry. And sorry.
I think that they really enjoyed having someone advocate for them. So it's like the fear of, I have 5 missing assignments, I don't think she'll let me turn it in. And then I'll say, okay, let me email your teacher. And I'd talk to them and say, hey, I'm working with Sarai, and she's willing to do this work, and she's willing to turn it in. And that helps her. Then like once she's able to turn it in, now she feels confident that like I can now improve this class and I can improve in this class. And it also gives them the ability to be like, you know what, I can actually ask that question next time on my own. It's the fear of, I already missed it, I don't think I can, to, wait, I can't have agency and do this. Because Ms. Gill advocated for me, now I can advocate for myself.
Thank you. We're going to switch over now. Leo, can you tell us, like, what is working for you in school right now? What is something you are really proud of?
It's just like having teachers that you can relate to, like the kind that you find funny, because if your teacher just seems like flat and boring, you don't want to really like pay attention in your class. You get distracted easily, but like if you find your teacher like kind to be around to, you can like focus more on their class and like get better grades.
Say a little bit more. You introduced yourself as, I'm here because I did well on the CAS score. What do you think has really supported you to do well in math and in English?
Oh, my dad, he always pushes me to be like a better person, get good grades. I also like to read a lot, so that always helps.
Marissa Coide, Director of Secondary Education. I had the pleasure of meeting with Leo and Mr. Kaninda before this. Leo, can you also share the qualities that you found in Mr. Garcia at Rancho, your math teacher, and how that supported you?
Like the atmosphere of his room was very nice, and he like always cared about like if whether or not you're doing well, and like he always gave you like told you options on how you can get your grades up. Like you can retake this test, or like if you return in this assignment, even though it's late, I'll like help you with it and like tell you how you can get better grades on it.
Great. Leo, is there something that you are proud of in your educational career so far that you could share with us?
Like last year, I got all A's in like middle school.
Awesome. You can pass the mic to your dad now. Thank you. Mr. Kaninda, can you tell us something that you are proud of Leo and what he's been able to accomplish so far?
Yes, so I'm very proud of Leo because I think his transition to high school has been fairly smooth, especially given the fact that he's a student athlete, so he spends a lot of time having practice, comes home late from his basketball practice, but so far at least still able to keep up with his grades and his assignments, so very proud of him for that.
And it was really clear when we met that you guys have a great relationship, something that we look for in relationships between our staff and our students. Can you go into more detail with our board explaining what that relationship entails?
Yeah, so the relationship that I have with Leo is that first I make my expectations very clear to him, so there's no confusion what I expect from him. In our home, we have a culture of excellence. So B is nice grade, but if you can have an A, why have a B? Now I know that school is hard, but I feel like students have to be pushed to be the best version of themselves. Yeah. And sometimes they're not able to quote unquote deliver, and they may not get the outcome that was desired, but at least I want to see the effort is there every single time.
That's something that really stood out when I spoke to them, and it really does mirror the relationship we want our teachers to have with our students. Clear expectations, trust to be able to have that conversation, and that's what I heard from our MHS main campus students as well that they found in Miss Gill.
Thank you. And I'm going to flip a question back to this team. And Damon, I know, do you have a question for the group? Okay, why don't you go first?
I was just curious if in the mentorship or the parentship, if there were any conversations about the future. I know we're focused on the CAS scores, but in terms of like what you might want to do in your future, were you able to address that, or have you been able to address that?
So that was in figuring out individualized support, but also, you know, trying to learn more about the girls as individuals beyond just school, to just ask them, what are your goals? What are things you want to do? And I think that also helped us like build a rapport and have a bond there, to feel like I'm supporting them in their achievement for the future. And so,
Yes,
yeah,
thank you.
definitely.
Why don't we start with Leo? Dr. Coide is telling me you know what you want to do for your future.
When I grow up, I want to be in sports medicine, which is why I went. When I grow up, I want to be in sports medicine, which is why I went to the innovation campus, because they are good in STEM.
Excellent. Sarai, Sophia, thoughts about what you are interested in, excited about after high school?
When I get out of high school, I want to be some sort of doctor, like dermatologist, to help people with their skin, because I struggle with that.
Nice.
Well, I still don't know what I want to do after high school, but what I've been thinking is maybe a cosmetologist or a dentist.
Excellent.
So we've talked about like programs they could do, but mostly they were working towards, hey, we want to make sure we're able to go to college. And so that was most of our discussions around that, and what like different programs in college look like, and internships and things that they can look towards.
Thank you. So before we transition to the Randall team, I wanted to just ask the board, what theme or what commonality did you pull out from their responses or their sharing?
So what I'm hearing is that why you guys are doing well is because your teachers are caring, they're taking an interest in your life, you're being seen and heard, right? And you're being supported at school and at home. So I'm also interested to know, are you guys involved in any sports or clubs or any activities outside of just academic?
I'm not in like any clubs or sports. Oh, but I do work.
You do what?
What was
Oh,
that?
I work.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, me too. That's probably the reason I don't do anything after school, and I like to study so I can keep my grades up.
I do basketball and sometimes track.
Great. So what I love to use these sessions for, right, is also to tie the personal experiences back into the education speak that you get from us in these reports and study sessions. So when Mary Jude and I are talking to you about social emotional curriculum, climate and culture, the belongingness survey, right, that's what this is also tapping into. That part of that academic success comes from building strong relationships, whether it's through clubs and activities or just the classroom teacher and how they connect and the flexibility. I also heard, right, that like teachers who created options for me, flexibility. Again, that happens as we come together and get to know each other on a personal level.
I want to capture something that Sophia and Sarai said before we move forward, which is the importance of also having work experience. And I think that is one key aspect for finding pathways to your future that we as educators, I don't know if it's just not part of our general kind of thinking when we think about extracurriculars, but it is very important, and it demonstrates to future employers or future institutions of education a tremendous amount of responsibility, agency, and ability to advocate for yourselves. So I'm glad to see that you're pursuing that aspect of experiences beyond the classroom.
Just for a quick show of hands, how many of you had jobs where you were in high school? Two jobs.
Thank you.
So we get it. We want you to know we're bigger versions of you in terms of the things that we've gone through and that you're going through. So, but we're much older now, so we really want to lean into your stories and understand this current generation so that we can support in as many ways as possible.
So, quick question in regard to relationships, which is our key theme here. How do we, are we effective in measuring how well we do those relationships with the different surveys, or are there different tools to measure that?
We have been consistently using one tool, the Climate and Culture Survey, where the questions come from Panorama, and I do believe that's an effective tool. In addition to that, we have different tools that we use year on, year off. So last year, I always get it wrong if it's the healthy or healthier kids, healthy
yeah.
kids survey, but there's okay. So last year, right, there were other dimensions to that survey as well that talked about like aptitudes and I think that is powerful because it's also actionable data, right? We could look at where kids were saying, I have respectful relationships with teachers, but how do I move to that mentoring space? So how do I move where my teacher is also helping me either be a mentor or connect me to mentors who are doing things in the world that I am interested in, or where I'm feeling empowered to share ideas and build clubs or actions and things like that. So I want to transition to the Randall team, because as we are hearing what that experience looks and feels like for students, Daisy and Kristen can really talk about what also happens behind the scenes, right? So what led to the remarkable growth in math at Randall? And I know this isn't 1 year's worth of work, it is multiple years of work. So if you can help us understand the system behind and what led to the growth.
Okay. I am going to say Daisy and I are feeling really old right now with Sophia and Sarai over here.
Oh, nice.
It's nice to see them in person. They left us their last 2 years. They were on a flat screen with us, so that's why you saw the recognition. So anyways.
Could Sophia and Sarai go home now because you have homework?
Yeah.
Just one quick final comment.
Wait.
Before Sophia, go. I just want to say for the. All right. For Leo, Sarai, and Sophia, there's a commonality here. Whether you do well in your grades or not do well, there's a struggle with growing up and finding your own path, right? Leo talked about trying to connect, feeling interested in the classroom. Sarah and Sophia, you talked about, just focusing on the fact that grades matter. There is a idea and theme of progress. Whether you're starting at one level or a different level, it's a matter of growth and continued growth. And so I hope you recognize that through the shared stories and experiences and also the support that we have here, that there's no dead end. And if you do feel like it's getting harder, reach out and just advocate for yourselves and let folks know that you are struggling to get the concepts or struggle to connect in a way that you want to continue to grow. So thank you for being here and thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you.
That's so cool that we're students.
Jump in. In case you wondered the impact, just sharing, Ms. Gonzalez shared that she has a picture with her and one of the girls in her office right now. As a new AP, it's traveled with her, so just for perspective. Should I wait for her to come back, or do I just go? Just go? All right.
Just go.
Boss says just go. So Randall, we have, for the last several years, have been very intentional about our school goal centering around math. One of the key pieces that we feel contributes to this is our PLCs, our professional learning communities. In these PLCs, which are monthly, our teachers we have high expectations for them. Tosa's before, now admin, that they come in with fresh data. Like it needs to be clean, it needs to be fresh, it needs to be new. Really looking at our students. All of our teachers can name where their kiddos are. And one of our signature practices that we work with in these groups is really looking at that data. Our signature practice is in and around small group work, whether this is to support foundational skills, whether this is to reinforce, whether this is to accelerate, to remind, whatever it is. Our expectation in our practice is that any student who is in the red, as we call it, which means they're most likely 2 or more years behind in that skill, they meet with them at least every day, at least, to focus on that. Our students who are in the yellow, which is give or take a year behind, are 2 to 3 days a week. It leans towards probably more 3+ a little bit. And then our students who are at or above grade level, they meet with at least once to check in. This does not mean they are not working on their target skills. I invite you to come see small group work in action. This means when they are working separately in a group, because we've worked on it at PLCs, the teachers know exactly what those students are working on in that group when they're not with her. Part of this is, gradual release. I do, then we all do it together, and then you do it, and then the reinforcement. Our PLCs, really, it's been the fine tuning. One good example is geometry. For those of us who've taught, kind of gets, it's like April, May, if you get to that chapter in the book. That's why many of us, hand raised, don't have the greatest of relationship with geometry, because it was like, oh my God, it's May, let's learn geometry, right? So in our PLCs, we have really worked to use geometry as we teach those identified, which they do the work on, foundational skills. Quick example, in measurement data, our younger kids have to graph data. Instead of using teddy bears and apples, they graph squares and triangles and ovals and prisms. There's the geometry in that core functional skill. So that PLC work that we do every month has really been that. The teachers know we're hyper-focused on each and every of our students, and they can do it by name and by data. And we think that's really contributed to this takeoff and growth. And we're definitely not done, but we feel like we've shifted the path of what our students are able to do, and going to continue to build on it.
Anything, Daisy? Or do you want to talk about what do we need structurally to maintain this?
So I was usually in the PLCs when we were in there with teachers, and for the most part it was looking at what gaps students had too, especially the students who were red 2 or 3 more grade levels behind, and seeing what next steps or what do we need to fill in for them to be able to access the content that's being taught at their grade level. So I think that also helps support teachers, and we came up with ideas too, and some teachers would talk to lower grade levels to see, hey, I have a student who still can't add double-digit numbers. Can you share some resources you're using in your class? So also collaborating between grade levels too. And one thing that's really important to keep into account is having time, right, to have these PLCs and saving time for them, and also having money to provide for them as well, right? Because we have a sub every month that needs to cover our classes while the teachers are in PLCs, they're in our learning lab. So having, the resources to be able to do that as well and continue to do it. Would you like to add something to that?
Or I'm going to say maybe one question from the board before we transition.
Sure. I can always ask questions. So with the idea of TK, and you have kids starting at TK and you see them grow to 3rd grade, do we see a reduction of kids who are 1-2 years behind because they're starting earlier, you have them longer? Do you see that trend?
I will happily say absolutely. With our TCARES, because the teachers have identified those foundational skills that we know spiral up as they go, and we know if they don't have it in 4th grade, it's really hard to catch up. And I'm very proud of the work the teachers have done with our well, a few were 3 when they started with us, to identify what is, like when you talk about an apple, what's that core that winds up and that apple gets built out around it. And while it looks like play in TK, they're very subtle about it. And I'm also, just want to add, one of the things that we do is we pay for 2 full-time paraprofessionals here to really make sure that we are targeting those skills that may have gotten missed or need to be repeated. For us, that's a big financial investment that absolutely I think is part of this. And they will work with our kiddos as young as TCARES, because the goal is by the time they get up, they have that big, beautiful apple that, we just need to continue to water and fertilize every once in a while, just make sure that they are building connections, that when we send them off, that, there isn't that little piece that they're missing to grow with.
Great.
Okay. Well, thank you for engaging with our students and our teachers and our admin, and allowing them the opportunity to show what's happening behind the numbers. We're going to now transition into looking at, we'll transition to looking at the numbers and the cohort data, but Mr. Norwood, did you want to?
Yeah, I want to thank you, Ms. Gill, for the investment of time that you have as being an MHS teacher, as well as taking on the mentorship. We can clearly see the difference that it made in these young ladies in terms of the caring and the trust. And we know that you have a full plate, and the fact that you're willing to do that is commendable. And I wanted to make sure that we acknowledge that here at this board meeting, especially also you taking the time to be here today. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Then we will transition to Dr. Koide.
And Miss Gill has a 2-year-old at home, and she's actually looking to take on another role for me. So thank you as she leaves. So I will orient you to these charts, although you have seen them before. They're longitudinal cohort data. This is data for our current seniors. The red represents students who did not meet standard. The orange-ish gold is they nearly met standard. Green is they met standard. Blue is they exceeded standard. The chart on the right-hand side represents their growth as a cohort in ELA. You can see they are trending in the direction we want them to go, with more and more students meeting or exceeding standard in the ELA area. On the left-hand side, you see in math a trend that we've continued to see over the last several years. Students as the years increase and the math areas get more difficult, we have a decrease in the number of students who are meeting or exceeding standard in math. And this really does mirror, now that all the data has been published, it mirrors the county's 2025 data in math as well. We're seeing a similar trend. Something that our team, though, is excited about is the math adoption process that we have began. We are going to be piloting some new math curriculum, and we are excited about what those show, the promise they show, especially around the math frameworks and the big ideas. And we've already had 2 teams, actually, the last school year, doing some work around the math standards and really getting to understand how to have better, effective instructional strategies. And the curriculum that's coming out is much stronger and is looking to meet the needs of our multilingual learners as well as our students with disabilities. So we're excited about that process and more to come. The next slide.
Can I interrupt for a second?
Yes, yes.
Executive Director Jahari, I know that you were a part of the state math book or math textbook adoption list. And given that Director Koide shared that across the county, the math scores continue to, the percentage of students who are at or above grade level in math is similar to what our data is. At the state level, did they talk at all about the possibility that the curriculum, the textbooks that our schools are using throughout the state have not changed quick enough to be on par with what the CASP is assessing? In other words, is there incongruence with what or a mismatch with what the state is testing and what our curriculum highlights?
So as part of the state process, what we checked for was congruence between the standards and the curriculum. We didn't then do that next level of, are the standards and the CASP assessment well aligned? That was not a part of the conversation. But the frameworks have shifted, right, in intentional ways, I think, to address these gaps. So one of the most notable changes in the frameworks is the increase in the expectation around student talk and student talk time. And there's research, right, that says that the more you talk about the content, specifically in math, the more aptitude that you have for it, the higher you can do and perform in math. So then, as Dr. Koide was sharing, the new curricula has practices like math talk embedded in it. Right? So the work that I was doing 10 years ago in terms of talking to teachers about what are deeper learning practices, what are the habits of mind and practices we need, and it was add-on. It was all of our secondary supplemental curriculum is now embedded at the tier 1 level in these new texts.
Thank you. So we suspect that we will see a shift as we make the new adoption, because often new teachers, they're new to the classroom, they're still learning and growing in their instructional practices, but now they will have stronger textbooks that have those resources embedded in them that will make them even stronger in their, formative years as new teachers. Thank you. So this is our current 9th graders data for last year. Again, on the right in ELA, we don't see as much growth, but we still continue to see a growth in their ELA growth. And then on the left side, math, it's pretty consistent and stable. And we're going to skip the next 2 slides in the interest of time, but we see similar stability in the current 8th grade class and the current 7th grade class.
Can I approach the questions a slightly different way if we go back?
Sure.
In the areas of the students that did not meet standard, has there been any investigation by the district to identify which students are LTELs or which students as far as the attendance, as far as those students? And is there a correlation in terms of those areas where we have the students that aren't meeting grade level? Because it seems like there's always this red, and I recognize there's a reason for it, and that connects to attendance or possibly some other, I don't want to call it a barrier, but reality that's connected to the student that may be preventing them to have the opportunity to either perform at grade level. Is there any research that we've done in the district in that manner?
Next slides really dive in. Well, it doesn't tap into, it shows the subgroups, but I think what you're asking is there a correlation between attendance and performance in math and ELA state assessments? We haven't done that level of investigation, but another exciting addition we have in our district is Panorama, and we're going to be using that as a tool for our SST process, which is, again, embedded. It's an embedded new practice of our MTSS system, so that we'll have our SST coordinators, our administrators, our teachers will have at hand all of that data they need. So they will be able at a glance to see students' attendance rates, their behavior responses, their culture and climate data, as well as their academics. So with that type of tool, we'll be able to grasp that data even quicker than we are now, and be able to present that type of correlation data that you're asking for.
Thank you.
Okay. So on this graph, again, just to orient you, on the far left, we have all students represented, and then as we go to the right, you have subgroups there. The yellow is our baseline in 2023. The blue's 2024 data, the green is last year's data, and the red is our 3-year target for our LCAP goal. And you can see overall, our students for ELA did meet the overall goal. And our district far outperforms students countywide and statewide in ELA and in math. And there's also some other bright spots. So our Latino students in the state overall have not performed as well as other groups. However, in MUSD, they have outperformed county students by 11%, and the state by 5%. Our African ancestry students also outperformed the county by 15%, and our low-income students outperformed the county and state by more than 20%. So when Dr. Sosa was talking about the interventions and the stretch growth, we can see that those interventions are actually supporting those specific groups that we are targeting. What I have circled are the LTELs, so our long-term English learners, and then our students with a disability, who, although are making some progress, it's not to the same level of the other subgroups. So we are investigating the connection between access of least restrictive environments. And Ms. Shearer and I and Dr. Sosa have started that work last year and are continuing this year around the pathways for these students and what they have access to in terms of coursework. Do they have access to A to G? Do they have access to rigor? And we're still exploring that, but what we have found, and we've started to do some work in just even altering the way we are describing our courses so that they can be A to G approved, so our students, our LTELs, for example, have more of an opportunity to become A to G and ready to enter a UC or CSU. We can go to the next slide. Similarly, it looks the same in terms of the layout. This is our math, but again, you can see all of our students continue to make growth in math. And again, they outperform county and state students. We were at 60.4%. The county was at 53.2%, and the state overall for math was 37.3%. So again, our MUSD students far outperform the county and state. Our subgroups, though, when we look a little deeper for math, did not perform as well or outperform the county or state wide data. However, our low-income students in our McKinney-Vento subgroups did outperform county and state by more than 10% each, so that's a real bright spot. And again, our LTELs and our students with disabilities, again, we suspect that there is a connection between the access they have to the level of rigor of the courses and their pathways, and Ms. Shearer is going to talk a little bit more about those areas.
Hello, my name is Michelle Shearer. I'm the Director of Special Ed and Student Services. On this graph, you'll be able to see students with disabilities that are meeting standard for math. So on the bottom, you'll see the different categories. You'll see autism, emotional disability, other health impairment, specific learning disability, and speech and language impairment. So you'll see elementary is yellow, middle school is red, and high school is looking olive up there. So you can look at the different categories. Something to note when it comes to math, this is the primary eligibility on IEPs. So when you're looking at speech and language impairment, usually speaking, those are students that may have expressive receptive language, articulation, apraxia. If it's their primary disability, they're not having specific SAI, specific academic instruction. So most likely the students on the left, autism, emotional disability, other health impairment, specific learning disability, do have specialized academic instruction and services to best support them access their learning. So many of the students, have some wonderings, like students that are meeting standards. We're always looking at LRE. Should the students still be in special education? So we always want to relook at that every single year. If they're meeting standard in their CASP scores, those are those wonderings you want to ask at the IEP team table. Again, I just want to say the same thing that Dr. Coide was saying, is that we're always looking at the least restrictive environment. Do our students have access to the least restrictive environment? Are they having access to curriculum that is using Common Core state standards, so we can ensure the rigor so they continue to grow and make progress on their academic goals. And if you look at the next slide, this area is for ELA standards. So it's in the similar pattern of autism, emotional disability, other health impairment, specific learning disability, and speech and language impairment. So you can see the percentages for speech and language impairment, which you'll see that 40% of elementary, 45% of middle school. You'll see in high school that number right there is 0. If you're looking at the rest of this data, you'll see that elementary for emotional disability has 16%. So there's very similar patterns between math and ELA standards. So if you have any questions about these data, you can always ask me.
I think just for me to succinctly, I don't know if this is what you were trying to ask earlier, Mr. Norwood, but when we are unpacking who's in the red, it's not uniform, right? It's not like, oh, a cross-section of our entire population is in the red. The pattern that we're really unpacking this year is the students who have the least access to general education classes and coursework are the ones that are most impacted.
So you're saying students with the least access still have to take these exams?
Mm-hmm.
So students that have IEPs that are having accommodations are on the diploma path. Students that have IEPs that are getting modifications are on the certification of completion or the alternate pathway path. So the students that you're seeing up here are students that have IEPs that have accommodations.
So for example, the schedule on the right-hand side is an MHS student. It is a long-term language learner, a 9-year long-term language learner. And looking at this schedule, This student has a double block of ELD, so both sections are not A to G approved. They have one section is approved for the elective. They have PE, they have ELD Intro to Math, again, not a to G approved course. ELD Intro to Science, not a to G approved course. So what Director Shear is showing is when students don't have access to grade level curriculum, it's really hard for them to meet those metrics of the grade level assessment because they're not getting the same access as to their peers.
Yeah, there's a bigger discussion to be had, and that's the look on my face when I think about pathways. When I think about when you talk about the level of access, A to G, and the requirement and the barriers that requirement creates for students that have other talents that isn't being accessed because we have this metric of measurement that is affiliated with, that's so closely tied to A to G, because somehow, I haven't figured out the correlation yet, but there's somehow, we're supposed to be saying that if students in high school or secondary, or in high school have access to A to G courses, then the probability of them performing better on the CASP is higher. But there are barriers in the methodology of doing A to G coursework based on a student with IEPs or 504 that falls into this. I can't even quite figure out what it is. So yeah, my face is thinking about legislation. My face is thinking about pathways so that our students can be, because the fact that they get categorized disproportionately because of the way that they do things or other things that they may have encountered in their lives is concerning. So thank you for those previous slides that kind of broke some of those things down because pathways, as not only to college, but into a meaningful, purposeful life is something that we have to think about. So thank you for that.
And then now we'll close out the evening by looking at our youngest students, our elementary students, and Dr. Vo Felbinger will lead us here.
Hi. It's a pleasure to be here tonight. Thank you so much for the opportunity to share our data with you. Our first slide is going to be a longitudinal cohort look at our students who are currently in 7th grade. So this chart shows how our 7th graders performed on CASP from 3rd grade through 6th grade. And something that's important to note is that when they were 3rd graders, this is their first year out of distance learning. So we're looking at, on the left here, we have their math performance compared to their ELA performance. And when we look at math, what we see is in 3rd grade, they came back to school, and over time, from 4th to 5th, we started to see a decline in their math performance with a slight rebound at 6th grade. In ELA, the opposite happened, where they came back and they performed and increased their proficiency over time. So one of the things we could perhaps glean from this is that any sort of loss that they may have, any schooling that they have missed during those foundational years in K-1-2, they were unable to keep up with the rigor of math over the late elementary years. But in ELA, they were able to recover from that. And when you look at the next 2 slides, you see this sort of like trend also occurring over the upcoming years, so that you can almost make a prediction about where this may go. So if we look here and we break it down even further by looking at our group data, on the left, you'll see the yellow bar, which is our baseline data from 2023. So at that time, they identified a target, a 3-year target in the red, and our performance in between. So our year 1 performance and our year 2. And we do see in ELA some steady growth toward the target for all students. But when you look at the group data, you see differences in performance among the groups. So something to highlight would definitely be our LTELs. And while this is a changing group, it is wonderful to see that our LTEL group has met already their 3-year target, and hopefully that trend continues upward, as well as our foster youth group. But also keep note that this is also a very highly mobile group, and the students change a bit from year to year. With our other groups, we don't see that same level of growth. In fact, we see some very persistent gaps toward their 3-year LCAP goal. In the next slide, for math, however, we do see some increases in toward the LCAP goal. And so this is interesting data because if you look at it compared to the cohort data that we saw earlier, we saw that in math, students were able to, they were challenged by math as the years went on, whereas here it shows that students are able to overcome some of those challenges in math more easily than in English language arts. So if English language arts is a challenge, it is more difficult to overcome the barriers in reading. Mm-hmm. So what the work then becomes is to really think about our instructional coherence as a district and look at the systems that we currently have across our, particularly in elementary and in our foundational years, because what we know is if students are not performing by 4th grade, then it will continuously be a struggle for them. So it is really important that we maintain our efforts around P3 alignment. And P3 alignment covers all of the work from early childhood through TK all the way to 3rd grade. The heavy investments that we have been making in early childhood, the research shows that it has not been sustained through 3rd grade. So those gains, they start to fade by 3rd grade. So we really need to work on our coherence and how we are supporting kids through those early years. And so that would include like how we screen our students, how we are assessing through our benchmarks, what our Tier 1 instruction looks like, and then how we are intervening also at Tier 2 and 3 as well. So that work really is going to require us to bring our staff together to work closely. Collaboration is incredibly important. What we've learned here from Randall is that we have really strong practices occurring in our district. So bringing our staff together to collaborate, to understand what is working well, how do we learn to do those practices, how do we share those practices, that is the work. And so we've begun that work. 2 years ago, we started with our TK communities of practice. Last year with our K. Thank you, Raquel Kuzunoki. This year, I'm starting our first grade communities of practice. And we're just spending a lot of time talking about all things 1st grade, from our SEL practices, our math practices, but mainly right now, our focus is on English language arts.
I'd like to make a comment.
Yeah.
As I kind of disaggregate the data when we talk about students performing at grade level or below grade level, and then I think about the total number of students based on our percentages. And then I learned from you guys that some of these groups are fluid. Like they haven't been with us for multiple years. They come in, they take the exam, and then they become a part of our data. And then you guys come to talk to us, and you talk about all these new things that we have to do or potentially adjust. But I'm thinking, but the audience is fluid. Yes. There are significant changes in the individuals, not the practices of the classrooms or the teachers that you're talking about we need to modify. I want to figure out how we can get to a point where this conversation with you guys isn't justifying what we didn't do well, but identifying that we understand at a granular level the students that we are serving, because again, we're talking about a very small, out of 10,000 students, when we're looking at 13%, and then you disaggregate that across all the schools in the district, and then you take out the other information about who's an English language learner, who's a newcomer, all these folks that have to take this test. I mean, we're talking about not a lot of students that are in classrooms of 20, 25 teachers. So at some point, I want to be able to figure out how to get to a conversation about, you know, in all of our classrooms, each teacher has 5, 6, 7 students that it's going to be difficult to move the bar, right? Because those are the ones that are showing up in this data that you guys are talking about. And you're talking about all these different practices or these new things that we have to do. But I'm like, how do you do those new things or these different things when the group of students in a classroom is so small?
Yes, thank you. So what you need to do is you need to disaggregate the data at the student level, and you need to look at them at the student level. You need to know who your kids are in each of these groups, and you need to look at them as people, not as a trend over time. This is very high level. So you can see that even if they're meeting LCAP targets, the target itself does not match the all-student target.
Right.
So we want to be increasing that target as well. But we need to be looking at our students at the student level for their individual selves. And we need to be looking at that data and having time to collaborate and work together and analyze that and discuss what our practices are going to be to serve the kids that are in front of us. Yes, agree.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for giving us a lot of time to dive into this, as well as to share the data, but also to share the stories. So this is where we end for today. I think there's maybe a question or two.
I think people have walked in and you're kind of leaving with this image, and I think it's important, just as President Norwood said, to just end on the high note. We did some things very well last year, so maybe just restating them.
Yes. So just to name like, I think the intentional work has led to gains, and I don't think it's 1 year's work. It's many years' work. And so we did shout out Randall Elementary for their 14% growth in math. And then as a district, the intentional efforts behind supporting our LTEL students has also led, like, so whether it's mentoring programs, newcomer academies to ensure that they don't even become LTEL students, right? So there is a lot of intentional work that is happening. And what I'm really proud of with this team here is that we aren't just recreating the wheel again and again, but really trying to refine our systems, right? So you keep hearing about April Acceleration Academy, Newcomer Academy, Summer School. So we're using the vehicles that we have in place and then refining our instructional practices, our pedagogical practices.
Thank you. Any other comments from the executive cabinet?
I just want to thank the team for being here. The other thing that I do want to highlight, piggybacking on what Executive Johari just shared, is that our team is really working to braid the initiatives together so that we are collaborating on the work, and so that when we're looking at our students, perhaps those that are duly identified as English learners and neurodiverse students, how do we work together as a team to support those? And then looking, President Norwood, at those pathways, that's been a very deep dive that we're going into as we dig down to further understand what those barriers are, because those are the marks that we can make and the moves we can make next that will make significant changes. So thanks to the team for sharing candidly our strengths as well as our opportunities for growth.
Trustees.
You know, I always look forward to these study sessions or the CAP scores because it gives us somewhat of a baseline to really look into some of the practices that we have. And thank you for sharing those, and thank you for thinking as far as how to adjust. I know that President Norwood talks about, you know, how do we address as far as that population. And so not necessarily a wholesale change, but how do we implement effective change in each of the classrooms for each of the students. So love to continue to hear those practices as we move forward.
We also have Trustee Naka online. Trustee Naka, do you have any comments? Any other comments from the trustees? Well, again, we want to thank you for the hard work. We know that you all care deeply about our students and the information that is being shared with the board so that we can make the appropriate decisions when it comes to funding, when it comes to the LCAP, when it comes to communicating with the community, the areas that we need additional support. When we heard from the students, when they have caring, trusting adults, that not only empower them, but also have the ability to advocate with them. They respond. We heard one of the father of the son say that I have high expectations and I also have a great communication relationship with my child. And so we recognize, as all of us parents up here, that it is not your job alone to be responsible for the outcomes of our community. And it's not the parents' job alone. It is the students' peers. It is the community as a whole. It is all of us together that make a difference, especially for our neurodiverse, our English language learners. Super excited about the Newcomers Academy. I thought that was, he knows when we all went to the graduation and we saw the potential there. So to hear that you're doubling that this year and recognizing that some students need both sessions, even though I would love to see the number be 3, but anyway. But that's just, it is what that is. So thank you all. Are there any other, Superintendent Jordan, any last words?
This presentation for the CASP results was well organized. Each person spoke to their point, and we focused more on the learner and educator experience. And I really appreciated that. As you said, Executive Director, putting the faces and the stories to the data is important. Thank you.
Is there a motion to close the study session?
Move to close the study session.
We have a motion to close the study session. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstained? Trustee Naka, can you hear us? Okay, so Trustee Naka, we're going to make a quick break so that we can figure out what's going on with your audio. All right, so we have a motion and a second to conclude the study session, and we will come back to open up the 7 o'clock meeting in approximately 3 minutes.
Check 1, 2. Board Trustee Naka, can you hear me? We cannot hear you even though you're unmuted. Are you on AirPods? I would try disconnecting and reconnecting. Maybe try calling in with your phone as well.
Rock and roll, baby. A couple other things.
Can you hear me now? Yes, but I still cannot hear you.
Let's roll. So how can we can't hear Trustee Naka? So how can I get her vote?
Okay. No, I think I need something to pin it.
Good evening, Milpitas. I'm your 2025 Board President, Chris Norwood. Welcome to the meeting of the Milpitas Unified School District Board of Education. We appreciate your attendance in our education proceedings, which align with the guidelines set forth by the Ralph M. Brown Act for Open Meetings. Tune in to our hybrid-style meetings online on either Zoom or YouTube or in person inside our boardroom here at Randall World Languages School. Public comments can be made while you are logged onto Zoom, or if you're in person, YouTube, however, is a listen-only option. If you're unable to do either of these, please visit our written public comments webpage for instructions on how to submit your written comment. One public comment per person is allowed for each of these items. Scott, roll call for the student board reps, please.
Okay, Student Board Rep Rocha.
Present.
And Student Board Rep Gupte.
Present.
And Student Board Rep Chung did email me to notify me she's under the weather, but she did submit her report that I'll read for her.
Awesome. Closed session announcements.
The board took no action.
Thank you. I'd like to announce for the record that this meeting is being conducted pursuant to the California Government Code 54953B concerning teleconferencing or meetings. Board member Anunaka, Dr. Anunaka, is participating in this meeting by laptop computer from Huxtepec 5475 55th Street, San Diego, California, zip code 92115. In accordance with the Brown Act, this location has been identified on the agenda for this meeting. Now, I would like to ask Board member Naka to respond to the following questions. Are you able to hear the proceedings on this end?
Yes, President Norwood.
Awesome. Do you have a copy of the agenda for the meeting?
Yes, I do, President Norwood.
Has the agenda been posted at your location?
Yes,
Is your location such that any member of the public could participate in the public portions of this teleconference meeting from your location?
yes,
Members of the board, are you able to hear Board member Naka?
Yes.
Yes. Awesome, thank you. Because we're having a meeting with teleconferencing, all actions will be by roll call vote. Is there a motion to review and approve the open session agenda?
Make motion.
We have a motion by trustee Jung. Is there a second? Second. We have a motion and a second. Roll call vote, Scott.
Okay, we'll start with Student Board Rep Rocha. Just give us an aye.
Aye.
Student Board Rep Gupte.
Aye.
Trustee Naka.
Aye.
Trustee No.
Aye.
Clerk Jung.
Aye.
Vice President Yip Chuan.
Aye.
And President Norwood.
Aye.
Unanimous.
Thank you. Now it's time for the flag salute.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Cadet Petty Officer 2nd Class Khan. Assisting me today is Delta Platoon of MHS NJRTC. And we will please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Half height, pace, freeze, hands, arms. Join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated. For turn, arms, half, pace, up, pace, hope, hurt, march.
Thank you, Milpitas High School, NJROTC. Can we give them a round of applause, please? Item 13 on the agenda, the MUSD strategic commitments. Let's start with our student board members.
The first sentence. Build a culture of we that engages parents, staff, and community partners in supporting student success.
Improve communication systems for better outreach to parents, students, and staff.
Develop educational pathways that allow students to apply their passion and learning for their future careers.
Focus services and support systems to ensure that all students are engaged in their learning and are making social, emotional, and academic gains.
Identify creative, student-focused strategies to accommodate enrollment growth and to ensure healthy learning environments.
Thank you, trustees. Superintendent Jordan, item 14, superintendent's report.
Thank you, President Norwood. I would like to point out that overall, as of October 24th, our average daily attendance has dropped a slight bit from where it was in August and also in September, so we are on a slight downward trend. I would like to remind all of our team members and our students and families that the first key to success is being in school. That is why we have this campaign for increasing our attendance, is because we know that when students are here and they're able to contribute to conversations and discussions and participate in group work, it really sets them up for success in school and later in life and career, where those essential skills of learning how to accomplish things through interaction with others is key. And one such example is at Spangler earlier this week. We had some of our PTA parents in to share with the students some cultural experiences around Diwali, and they all made lanterns. Another thing I would like to point out to the board and community is that last week, 10 of our leaders, including myself, President Norwood, Executive Director of Learning and Innovation, Preeti Johari, Assistant Superintendent of HR, Damon James, our President of the Milpitas Teachers Association, Clarissa Isbell, our Director of Tech Services, Chen Song, our Principal of Calaveras Hills High School, the Principal of Milpitas Middle College High School, Coordinator of Adult Education, Antonio Fuentes, and Principal and Chief Innovator of Milpitas High School Programs, Greg Woolman, all went to the Leadership Summit at St. Vrain School District, which began the work of pathways very similar to MUSD, but further ahead because they started this 15 years ago. And from our time together, we determined that secondary and adult education has already been undergoing a redesign, but we want to bring it to the forefront and champion it in order to accelerate it because it tremendously benefits every learner when they have the opportunity to experience learning in different ways that will set them up for their pathways to the future. And it also breeds enthusiasm amongst the team members because they too grow. So here's two examples. Travel and Tourism Academy was at Hilton not too long ago where they were participating in portfolio exhibitions, and they had evaluators of what they had to say from industry. And then also at Calaveras Hills High School, we have a member of the multimedia industry who is sharing with our learners there how you put together podcasts and overall what marketing skills there are. So these are just two examples of pathways we already have, either as in the case of travel and tourism, long-standing and continuing to evolve, or in the case of multimedia and podcasting, brand new and ready for further development. So I'm very excited about the work that's ahead, and there will be more to come in the form of a board report. Now I would like to present our recognitions. You'll see later under our executive cabinet reports that our school principal, Hethel Patel, and team, and parents and students will be presenting all about what's happening at Zanker. And to kick us off, we have our MUSD, Maiden MUSD Team Members Award. Each of these members from Zanker were selected by their peers. And we have first Tyler Burton, who is our day custodian at Zanker and is one of our classified team members. So Tyler, if you could come on up. And, okay, we'll make sure we catch him. But you can still talk about it. And then we have, for our certificated team members, Ms. Sonia Harandia, who is a 5th grade teacher at Zanker. Would you like to say a few words? Would you like to say a few words?
Sure. I wasn't expecting that, but hi, good evening, everybody. Well, on behalf of Tyler, I haven't talked to him, but I know he's really stoked to get this award and is very humbled. He's a very humble individual and does such hard work at Zanker, and I could not be prouder to stand here in his presence. Unfortunately, he couldn't join us today. And I just want to give a big shout out to my Zanker team for recognizing all of the hard work that all of our teachers do and all of our staff do. And thank you for those of you who were able to support, and those of you who weren't, I know that their hearts are still with us. So thank you so much for this recognition. It really means a lot.
I would like to say, Ms. Haranja, your remarks really indicate the kind of leader that you are, that you're always looking after team and what's a way that together we can all succeed. I really appreciate that about you. And Principal Patel, would you like to say a few words about both?
Good evening. So I'm here to talk about Mr. Tyler. He is such an important part of our community at Zanker, both at school and just within the community. He works really hard to keep our campus clean and safe, but also very welcoming. And he always takes initiative around campus for anything. He's patient and kind with all of our students, which I feel like is very important working on a campus. Even though he's not directly in the classroom, he's built relationships with everybody. And he always has a positive attitude when we ask him to do anything, and he actually has a really great sense of humor once you get to know him. So I don't know if he's online. We tried to get his family. He had a medical procedure done today, so he wasn't able to join. But we were very excited when we heard that he was the one that was going to be recognized by our staff. So congratulations to Tyler.
So Mrs. Hingragia has been a team member at Zanker since 2015 as one of our 5th grade teachers. She is a supportive and collaborative colleague, and she works really hard every day with her class. And she works hard not only with her students on academics, but she also works to create a welcoming and inclusive classroom atmosphere. Her students feel valued and enjoy coming to school, and then it's hard for them to stay away. I noticed former students going back and visiting her during lunch and recess, and even Rancho students try to come over and visit on their minimum days, Wednesdays. And here is what some of her students had to say. 2 students from this year. We have Victor, she's kind. Noelle, she's awesome. She takes good care of us. They both love working on art with her. And then I have some of your previous students. Their names are Ruth, Zyma, Ahita, and Brenna. She's very nice and makes work easier and more fun. She's very patient and understanding. She adjusts her lessons to fit different people's needs. She's trustworthy. You can trust her if you need to tell her something important. And she's pretty. Thank you, Sonia. We appreciate you very much.
And do you have family here with you tonight?
I do. My parents are here.
Oh, can we have you come up to join us for a photo? And our Zanker team as well.
They're hiding. Come on up, you guys.
We have a member of our community who's made a second career out of being our crossing guard at Escuela Parkway for 15 years. And he has finally decided to do a second retirement where he retired first from the Marines. Now he's retiring from being a crossing guard. We will miss you, Ronaldo Lingard, Sr. And I invite you to come on up. Would you like to say a few words?
Some of you guys I know, those children and teachers, and I love doing volunteers. I'm currently a Veterans Commissioner of Milpitas, and I'm an ordained pastor, and I love you guys.
Family with you? Can we have Mrs. Davina? I know we have some of our team members who are here to recognize and support you as well, right, Mr. Forstner? Over here. All right, please come on up. Thank you, Pastor Ray. Thank you. Okay, now we have our cross-country teams. Rancho Milpitas Middle School, they placed third in the division, so if we could have you come on up. Do you have a team captain? No? Okay, well, who wants to be the designated team captain for tonight? All right. And what's your name?
Dhruv.
Would you please tell us a little bit about your team? Come on.
We had a lot of people on our team. We won, was it second or third for 8th grade boys? I think it was second, but it could have been third. I think that a lot of us put a lot of effort. I'm really happy that we got to in second. We got into the finals, and yeah, I'm really happy for our school. I don't have much else to say, sorry.
You did a fantastic job. And while Mr. Forstner is arranging you, I just want to say thank you to Coach Cow for the time that he spent with the team. And can we have our families up? Our families of our kiddos? Yep. All right, our next team is Russell Middle School cross country team. And they too came in third overall with a number of other wins. And I will ask Coach Chen or Coach Rupali to share a bit more.
Congratulations to our Russell cross-country student athletes. They came in third overall at section and divisions. And a special recognition to our 8th grade girls. If you're an 8th grade girl, raise your hand. Our 8th grade girls brought home a first place banner for divisions, which will forever be placed on the wall of our multi-use room. And they also brought home a second place trophy. So we're super proud of you. We're proud of you for running uphill and downhill through the heat. Go Russell Wolverines!
And families, if you would like to come on up and take a photo with the team, our families.
Right here. You're right next to me. There you go. You're good.
Hey. All right. Next, I would like to recognize our Puso Club advisor, Mr. Tanichi Lorenzano, and the Puso Club. And they will, after we recognize them, they will be doing a performance for us. Mr. Lorenzano.
Come on up. Thank you so much for having us here and recognizing everything that this club does to share Filipino culture with the community. So tonight they will be performing a dance called Bulaklakan, which is really more of like a spring dance to celebrate the seasons.
We'll do a photo first, and then, so girls, let's get you in the middle. You hold that.
Okay, thank you.
Hold that too. Perfect.
Wait, one more.
And before we do the ceremony, we also want to recognize our team members from Mapuche Unified Filipino ancestry and also fans. So we, as I call your name, if you would come on up. Rory Flores, Rona Talento, Natalia Formolis, Dorothy Recanose, Maria Flores, Joyce Bahimilan, Marichu Padilla, Roberto Clemente, Noah Thompson. Yes, individually. It's okay, Mr. Forster, we can get it. Thank you. All right, thank you. And we have Noah Thompson, Roberto Clemente, Faith Leanne Asuncion, Christy Lee, Tanichi Lorenzano, Zanette de Guzman, Maria Teresita Robles Santos, Mia Glitton, Karine Filadiso, Aisha Francisco, Joyula Nemo Garcia, Kevin Slavin, Marianne Reyes, Valerie Negrito, Marilyn Suarez, Kristen Stonehouse, Herm Wilson, Raquel Santos, and Suzanne Moffett. If we could have you come up, please, for a group photo celebrating our Filipino Heritage Month. And Victoria Asensio.
Guys ready? Just let me know. We'll hit the music.
You guys ready? Do I dance with them?
O maliwanag na buwan, nakikiusap ako. Ang aking minamahal, sana ay hanapin mo. Tadhana may magbiro, araw man ay magdaan. Ang pag-ibig ko sa kanya ay di rin maglalaho hanggang sa kamatayan. O buwan buwan sa liwanag mo, kami nagsumpaan ng irog ko. Giliw ko ang sabi niya, ang puso ko'y iyong-iyo. O buwan, pakiusap ko, saan man naroon ang irog ko. Siya'y aking hinihintay, sabihin mo. Nakikiusap ako, ang aking minamahal, sana ay hanapin mo. Tadhana may magdiro, araw man ay magdaan. Ang pag-ibig ko sa kanya ay di rin maglalaho hanggang sa kamatayan. O buwan sa liwanag mo, kami nagsumpa ng iro. Giliw ko ang sabi niya, ang puso ko'y iyong-iyo. O buwan, pakiusap ko, saan man naroon ang iro-iro. Siya'y aking hinihintay, sabihin mo. Sa liwanag mo, kami nagsumpaan ng irog ko. Giliw ko ang sabi niya, ang puso ko'y iyong-iyo. O buwan, pakiusap ko, saan man naroon ang irog ko. Siya'y aking hinihintay, sabihin mo. Sabihin mo.
Chief Business Officer Ricanose, I heard you singing there. Did you have something you would like to share?
Well, I really enjoy that. I haven't seen that in like 30 years. So it just warms my heart to hear the music and see them dance. So where's our Mr. Yes, correct me if I'm wrong, but my understanding about Bulaklakan is all about the Virgin Mary and also, but it's a love story song also. They talk about how someone is talking to the moon and waiting for their loved ones. So it's very inspiring. Thank you so much for bringing them over here.
Thank you, Chief Business Officer Ricanose. That added more context. Thank you. I enjoyed listening to you sing it. Okay, we have another recognition. Next, I'm going to invite up a number of our team members who were the winners of grants awarded by the Milpitas Community Education Foundation as well as VEDA. And then I will invite our chairpersons of Milpitas Community Education Foundation to fill in what they each actually won and how they went about it. So first, I would like to invite up Dr. Karen Anderson from Randall, who applied for and won the VEDA STEAM grant. And then I would like to invite from Kirtner, Mr. Matt Amani, who applied for a MCEF grant and won that for his third grade adaptation and science field trip. And then Magdalena Lazaro and team for winning a grant for the mental health counseling program. So if you could all come up when I say your names. And then also for Milpitas High School Library Revitalization, Ms. Mia Glitton. If you could all come up, please. And I would like to invite our chairpersons of the Milpitas Community Ed Foundation, Mr. Amin Fazl and Ms. Swati Shah and team, as well as the members of VEDA. If I could have you all come up, please. And I would like our representative from VEDA to come forward so you could tell us a bit about the grant.
Hello. First of all, we wish you all happy Diwali. And then it's so happy to see that some of the board of members here wearing Indian dress. You know, that's true representation of our diversity and inclusion. Thank you. Really appreciate that. So I think, you know, VEDA is a nonprofit organization in Milpitas for starting from 2010. We are part of your local community, just a mile away from here. And then we support a lot of community activities. You know, though we are a nonprofit organization, we want to be part of the community. This is the year 2 that we are supporting the STEM program. And then VEDA offers $2,000 grant to the community. And then we'd also love to do more activities. You know, we would like to engage and involve. You know, we truly respect the education. You know, that's how we are here in this country. So that's why we would like to get more opportunities. You know, we would like to come forward and then support, you know, something like return to school, any help that we need. You know, we actually would like to work with the board and then, you know, take it forward. But thank you for giving us this opportunity. On behalf of VEDA, once again, Gopal, you want to say anything? He's our president of the VEDA community.
Well, thank you for having us here. And VEDA actually stands for Vedic Educational and Devotional Academy. So education is our base. And so we would like to participate and we love to participate. And Robert there is a dangerous man in my world. Every Sunday, the kids are there at 10 o'clock sharp, waiting to make sandwiches so they can go and, you know, make the kits. And this program is basically handled by the kids. One of the big ones is here right now. He's going to graduate in a couple of years, and then his younger one's going to, and there's a whole slew of them, like, you know, an army that's generated over the years. And this, I think, a 3rd or 4th year that we've been doing it. And again, so we like it, and we want to participate in more of that stuff. And again, education, like you said, is our base, and, you know, we want to continue on. Thank you.
Thank you. No, that's fine. Uh-huh. Oh, okay. Dr. Anderson? Oh.
Write our grants, and I really want her to get recognized as well. It was fantastic to get that help for writing it.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And now, Mr. Fazil and Ms. Swati from the Milpitas Community Ed Foundation.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for allowing us to do this. We do every year, we do a grant for MUSD staff, and this sponsors projects for schools. So this time we have 3 winners. We have a mental health project, we have Kirtner, and we have library. And combination, we usually do $10,000, and this year we were able to get additional. So Milpitas High School will get $5,000. Kirtner and mental health will get $3,000. And so this is amazing. And every year we've been doing this for this is our 5th year, and it's great support. So thank you, staff. Continue putting in your request in, and we'll do whatever we can to help you guys out. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Come on, close.
We have all the winners touching the check.
Sure, yeah.
All right, come on, Matt.
And before y'all go away, Ms. Glitton, would you like to tell us about the Milpitas High School Library Grant?
Awesome. Thank you so much. It's with tremendous gratitude that I accept this on behalf of the entire Milpitas High School community. The library reopened just about a year ago, and now hundreds of students make use of the library every day. So with this grant, we're able to fund additional new books, have more programming, bring another author this spring, and most importantly, add multimedia resources and STEM equipment into our library. So we really transform into a digital learning space where every student has an opportunity to come in, inquire, learn, share, connect, collaborate, explore, and dream together. I'm just really grateful to the Milpitas community. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Glitton. And Magdalena, the Milpitas Mental Health Counselors.
Thank you very much. Good evening, everybody. Good evening, President Norwood, members of the Milpitas Unified School District Board of Education, Superintendent Jordan, and especially to the generous representatives of the Milpitas Community Educational Foundation, MCEF. On behalf of the Mental Health Counseling Program, and most importantly, on behalf of our students, we are deeply honored to be the recipient of the latest MCEF grant. This grant is more than just funding. It is a powerful affirmation of the innovative work happening in our classrooms and the testament to the community's unwavering belief in the importance of our students' mental health and its connections to their learning and to our community. This crucial support will be dedicated to advancing MUSD's priorities by strengthening the care system for all learners, enhancing collaboration and communication for students' needs, and fostering an environment where students can thrive. This grant would allow us to expand our work to create learn-focused strategies to collaborating with students, parents, and district staff members that increase students' use of social-emotional skills, contributing to academic achievement and healthy learning environments. We are committed to utilizing these funds effectively and efficiently, transforming this generosity into a tangible success stories for every child involved. We are hopeful that this grant will create an ongoing impact on MUSD students for years to come, and we look forward to this partnership. Thank you again to the board, the superintendent, and the entire Milpitas Community Educational Foundation. We're excited to get to work.
Thank you, Magdalena. And Matt and Kurtner team, would you like to say a few words about the grant that you applied for third grade?
Just a couple of things. I'm here representing Kurtner's third grade team, and we are so grateful for the Milpitas Community Education Foundation for the grant our grade level is receiving. We are excited that students will get to apply what they learn in the classroom into their real lives. Students will be able to research different animals and their adaptations, and understand why animals can live in the climate that they're in. And so after our project, students will be able to attend the Oakland Zoo on a field trip. And so we're super, super grateful for the grant for making this possible, because without it, we might not have been able to go. And so I know we're super thankful, our students and our parents are super thankful.
And I'm super thankful. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Members, they just joined. They just joined our members.
What is your name?
Dayakar.
Yeah, we should connect.
Yes,
Sure.
definitely.
If we're doing it, you guys gotta be in the middle.
Next is executive cabinet.
Comments from the public, right? Comments from the public? Next on our agenda is comments from the public.
Okay, I had one speaker card from Aditi Sharma of Rancho. She.
Hi, my name is Aditi Sharma.
Can't hear you. Say it loudly.
Hi, my name is Aditi Sharma, and I'm a student at Rancho Milpitas Middle School. I am the founder of an initiative called Cyber Shiksha. Shiksha is a Sanskrit word meaning education, so basically it's called cyber education. The goal of Cyber Shiksha is to educate kids my age and younger on how to stay safe online, and just to teach them how their actions matter and how online is different from the real world, like in person. So far with Cyber Shiksha, I have presented at Maryhill for students on cyberbullying. The principal had reached out, and it was just really cool to see and hear from like the students and how they were feeling. And the students there were very open about sharing their experiences, and it made me realize how much of a problem cyberbullying is. I presented a presentation, and I passed out a pledge, which the students then signed in their homeroom. My mom's company is a cybersecurity company, and they have taken my presentation and the pledge, and they are giving it to students in Dallas in January. My goal with Cyber Shiksha is to spread it to other elementary schools as well, and to present there here in our community. Thank you.
Thank you. Did you
Thank you.
say? Did you say you're a Rancho student?
Yeah.
Awesome. And do you have a teacher that's working with you?
No, I didn't really reach out to any teachers.
So, would you email me so that I can connect you with, so I can connect more with you, and we can talk about which teachers you have and how we might be able to have somebody at Rancho help support your mission and vision that you have for our students to learn how to carry into the cyber world the importance of building strong relationships in a positive way.
Yeah.
And thank you for the work that you're doing in this area, because as you've illustrated, it's important for us to remember that there is a person on the other end of that text or social media chat that we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Give a round of applause, please. Could you please stay up for a second? Could you stay up for a second? And although, board, this is a public comment and we do not have to make any comments except direct them towards the superintendent, I would like to consider you making an exception. And if you have any questions for this young lady, please ask those questions. Or if you have any words of praise or encouragement, please do so. And we'll start with Trustee Naka online.
Thank you, President Norbert. Are you able to hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Aditi, for the wonderful pitch. And cyberbullying is something which super important, especially for our young adults. And carrying your pledge towards the younger generation matters most to bring in the first level of awareness as to why it is important. So I look forward to hearing to your pledge as well, and like to know more details, and would be crucial for us definitely to spread more awareness around in the community as well. So thank you for being here, and thank you, President Norwood.
You're welcome. Let's go to our student board members.
Okay. Could I ask what grade you're in?
I'm in 8th grade.
8th grade. So I was in your position, like literally the same position as you in middle school. I actually did start my own initiative as a middle school student around climate change. And I just want to say, like, just keep, one thing I wish I did was like keep being really passionate about it, because I know like the passion, like as years go on, they can die out, but I think that you have like a really strong potential with your initiative, and I just really want to see like it being taken forward, and hopefully you'll be in my shoes one day, so we'll see.
I have no comment.
Trustee No.
I just recently chaperoned at the San Jose Tech Museum, and they had lots of exhibits around cybersecurity and cyber, bullying, as well as far as like, how to engage. And so when you talk about engaging with elementary school students, it's perfect in today's world that's moving forward, and the information that students are getting access to more and more. What your initiative is really bridging that pathway for students to understand earlier and how to be more socially aware about their activities. So I commend you for your project and the passion that you're starting in middle school, and certainly we'll support anything that comes out from both yourself and the district.
Trustee Jones.
I want to just commend you for your work, because one of the key things that I have found working with others is that kids listen to kids. They don't listen to adults. So I love the fact that you're taking an initiative to really explain the dangers of social media, especially for our young kids. And I encourage you to keep doing it. And if there's anything you need, give a shout out. Thank you.
Vice President Yip Chuan.
Yes, I want to echo my colleagues here, and it's amazing what you're doing. We want to encourage you to continue to do outreach, and whatever you need for support, let us know. This is, MUSD, and it's the culture of we, and we want to be inclusive. So keep it up. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes, I want to thank you as well for coming here today and sharing your project. We all know that students tend to listen to students more, in some areas, more than they will adults. And so your ability to carry this message forward about the dangers out there, please continue to push forward, continue to find your voice, continue to gain allies on campus with other students as well, so they can carry the message forward, because we want to make sure that our communities are safe. We know that your work will benefit not only the students, but the school campuses and the cultures as well, as you continue to move forward with this work. So continue to keep up the good work and keep us posted. As you heard Superintendent Jordan said, follow up, because she's going to find out who to connect you with to make sure that this work continues to move out to support our students and community as a whole. We know that the dangers of cyberbullying and also things that happen on cyber not only affects you, but affects your family and others. So we really appreciate your efforts and your leadership. Thanks again.
Let's give it a round.
Good.
Can you just spell the Sanskrit word?
It's like, I spell it SHIKSHA. It's kind of hard to translate to English because it's a different alphabet, but yeah, that's how I spell it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And that's all our public.
Awesome. Superintendent's Executive Cabinet reports.
Thank you. We will start with our Zenker team.
That's right. I'm sorry, there was one more public comment.
Oh.
Ooh, my apologies about that. We have Yoli Garcia from Hope for the Unhoused, not to be forgotten.
No worries. We're good.
Good evening, the school board and district staff, wonderful people. I'm here on behalf of Hope for the Unhoused, and basically I wanted to come and let you guys know that I wanted to tell you guys how wonderful all the volunteers that we get, especially for Sunday showers, from Milpitas High School, the junior ROTC, Rancho, and Russell. And then we have students, I have anywhere from, well, I have a list of like over 100, but I have anywhere from 10 to 14 that volunteer every Sunday, and they're there to help serve food, give out hygiene bags, water, help with clothes. They engage with the unhoused people that we are, the clients that we are working with. We are now in our 5th year with the showers, and we started out getting maybe, I don't know, 15 to 20 people. Last Sunday, we had a little over 75 people. It's, yeah. But the kids are wonderful. We could not do it without them. And I just wanted to let you guys know that we have great kids in Milpitas, all right, students. And so I know that you guys may not understand or know what's going on Sundays at showers, but I'm pretty good at being a taskmaster. So they come, they're on time, they help set up, sanitize tables, put up canopies, and then help with the food they serve. And it's been really wonderful. And I just want you all to know that our kids are, they're great. All right, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Item 16 on the agenda, Superintendent's Executive Cabinet Reports.
Thank you, President Norwood. We will start with Principal Patel and Zenker team.
Good evening. I'm here with Assistant Principal Dylan. And every year when we come to present to the board, I like to have the students create what you see. So I have a video that's going to be highlighting something at Zenker. Since I took on the principalship, it's been about keeping tradition at Zenker, but then also kind of going with the times and increasing community and inclusion. And so I wanted to highlight something that's been happening at Zenker that actually started here at Randall with one of our teachers, who then moved to Zenker, I think in 2000, and has kept the tradition going at Zenker, and it's now evolved. So ready when you are, Scott. Thanks.
What inspired you to do the Zenker Olympics?
It started at Randall Elementary School. So I didn't like what the PE coach was doing at the time. So I started the intramurals. And I was really into Olympics and soccer and other sports. So I decided to make a kind of competition based mostly on track and field, but then also team sports. And then it evolved to fun things like hula hoop and jump roping.
The Zenker Olympics is a special part of the Zenker school community that promotes an atmosphere of inclusive connection and school spirit. It is designed to ensure all students can participate with the variety of different athletic events it hosts. While any student in grades 1 to 6 can participate, we have seen more students with disabilities and multilingual learners participate, increasing their sense of belonging to the school and strengthening their sense of community. This kind of unified engagement helps build understanding, empathy, and confidence, fostering a welcoming school environment for everyone.
Anybody can participate. I love that you asked that question. So I have a lot of different events.
that anyone can participate in. So we have the 50-yard dash set up right now. Some people might not like the 50-yard dash, so I have different events. If you're good at jump rope, we have a jump rope competition. If you're good at hula hooping, we have a hula hoop competition. We have a frisbee throw that everybody can participate in, no matter your grade, no matter your ability level. Every student at Zaker has the opportunity to participate in one of the events.
We have teacher competitions. So every day at lunch, we have different grade levels. She's actually taking a break. I think today she made an announcement that today and tomorrow there'll be a break. But it's boys and girls, that grade level, and they compete, and then kids get a ribbon. And what was really interesting, my first year at Zanker that I saw as the assistant principal is like our 5th and 6th graders with their backpacks with all their ribbons tied to the back of all the events that they had participated in over the years from when they were 1st graders until 6th graders. And then there's a leadership component where our 6th grade students that participate in jobs to earn the Golden Jaguar also support with the events. So they'll run events, they promote sportsmanship, they'll set things up, and then we had the last clip that we saw was our annual Zanker basketball tournament, and we'll get seniors from the high school that come out that will referee the games as we have a bunch of different tournament games going on.
Nice.
Thank you. Any questions from the student board members?
I think I heard that it's from grade levels 1 through 6. Is there something for kindergartners too, Ms. Patel?
The kindergartners are kind of wild, to be honest. So we haven't, so we haven't incorporated it with them because usually it matches with our lunch recess where we have intermediate out at one point and primary at the other. And so we haven't really been able to incorporate the kindergartners. Really in kinder and TK, I have about 110 out at the same time. We're just practicing safe playing with each other before we introduce games and things. They do get to ride the tricycles though, so yeah.
That's fun to begin with. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Any other comments from the board? Thank you. Thank you very much for your presentation.
We'll start with Assistant Superintendent of Human Relations, Damon James.
Sorry, I was still processing Zanker, and I just thought the board should know. She mentioned the 110 TK kinders, but what they're doing for the upper grades in terms of setting those students up for how to play with one another is really important. So I just wanted to, I was processing because I wanted to commend Hethel and Jean for the work that they are doing with the TK and kinder to prepare them for what you all saw. That's all. And as far as HR, I really wanted to give a special shout out to Administrator Carl Stice and the work that he did at the Adult Education Job Fair on the 15th. It was very well received by our community. If anyone saw the parking lot, it was absolutely full, and my HR team did not get an opportunity to have a break because it was so busy. And it was a good thing. We had 2 weeks prior participated in the Santa Clara County Classified Job Fair, and our fair could not touch what happened. So I just wanted to make sure and put that special out there for Mr. Stice.
Just clarification, you mean their fair couldn't
Their fair
touch
couldn't
our
touch
fair.
our fair,
Okay.
right? So, right, because their fair, we were promised 800 people, and there were maybe 100 people that came. And if you saw, I know that Vice Principal Yip Chuan saw how many people were in that parking lot, how many people participated that day. It was very, very impressive. I think the best ever. And then I also just wanted to thank Superintendent Jordan and the team for the visit to St. Vrain. That district just helped remind me of how important it is to be grounded in something as a district and to utilize project-based learning and the critical thinking and collaborative skills to really support students in their pathways, career and beyond. So thank you.
Executive Director of Inclusive Services for All Learners, Mary Jude Dorpinghouse.
Good evening. Looking ahead to Monday, the entire district will participate in a professional development learning day. The various departments in the district offices, along with the school site administrators, have planned a wonderful day full of learning opportunities for all staff, including classified, certificated as well. So we're looking forward to the day of learning and growing in our knowledge and our craft, and a reminder to parents, there's no school then. Secondly, going back in time a little bit, thank you, Scott, for queuing that up. This past week on Wednesday was Unity Day, and so our entire district participated in donning our orange colors. Next slide. It didn't matter what grade you were at in preschool, you might be learning the color orange, but you were also learning about being part of a circle or a community and what that looks like to be a friend. Next slide. At elementary, you were also, it didn't matter what, whether you were in a classroom that needed additional special education support or gen ed class, you were able to learn about being a good friend and what a kind kid looks like, what they do, what they say, what they don't do, and what they don't say. And then circling up to our secondary, whether you were at middle school or high school, you can see we donned the orange from head to toe for some folks. And they really promoted unity. They promoted acceptance, kindness, belongingness, and at the high school they took a pledge to be kind. And that certainly will support the work that we're doing around discipline and that type of work. And then it didn't matter if you actually were a student at a school site. Even the next slide, you'll see our staff also got in the spirit. And again, this whole day was around uniting as a community around kindness, acceptance, inclusion, and belonging. Thank you.
Thank you. And Chief Business Officer Dorothy Riconose.
I still have the music in my head, by the way. So the Innovation Campus participated the California Great Shakeout last October 16. So both staff and student practiced to drop, cover, and hold. And also this morning, we finalized pretty much the selection of all the colors and materials for the Workforce Development Center and Child Development Center, which is the phase 3 and final phase of our bond project. So we are looking forward to getting all the final colors report that they will give us, and they're going to start the project or the demolition of the building pretty soon. That's my report for tonight.
Thank you, team.
Thank you. Thank you, Executive Cabinet Superintendent Jordan. Student Board Representatives reports. Scott.
Okay, we're going to start with our Calaveras Hills High School Student Board Rep. Rocha. Go right ahead.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Audrina Rocha, and I'm excited to share this week's report. Starting with our soccer team, we are currently in second place. As a member of the team, I can say we've been working hard all season, and we are really proud of how far we've come this year. We're looking forward to our next game this Thursday and hoping to make it to the championships, which will be at Santa Clara Community Schools next Tuesday. and we can't wait to finish the season strong. Last Wednesday, October 15th, we hosted Challenge Day. It was a powerful school-wide event that brought together our students and staff with over 20 adult volunteers from our district and community, including Mayor Carmen Montano. It was an inspiring day filled with connection, empathy, and understanding. We love seeing students open up, support one another, and strengthen our sense of community. And we also launched last week the Peace Leader Academy, which is a program created by the City Peace Project. It is led by Andres Topete and myself. Through PLA, we are working to promote kindness, leadership, and positive change on our campus, and we're excited to participate in our school's Halloween event this Friday, where we will connect with students and share about how we can help build a more peaceful community. And right now, we are currently hosting Spirit Week, and we've been having so much fun seeing creativity and school pride with the different themes and activities, and we'll wrap up with our field day on Friday, and we're excited to come together and celebrate through a barbecue. And that's it. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much. And moving right along, we're going to go to our MUSD Middle College High School Student Board Rep Gupte.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. So to start off, we are going to be having registration for our college or SJCC courses for intersession and spring 2026. We are going to be hosting a workshop for the entire school with SJCC staff to prepare for that. We are also looking forward to send a delegation to the Samsung Next Gen STEM Fair, and we would also like to take the time to thank staff at Innovation Campus for coordinating this across all of the school sites. And then our job preparation elective is looking forward to be going to the SJCC Career Fair on November 12th, where we'll be networking for jobs and internships. And we also like to take the time to thank the organizers of the MUSC Job Fair. And finally, our application window for spring semester closes this week, and we are looking forward to onboarding additional 10th graders for spring 2026. And that concludes my report.
Thank you so much, Student Board Rep Gupte. Student Board Rep Chung of Milpitas High School is under the weather today, so she's not here physically, but she did share her report for this week, and I'm going to read it for her. Halloween costume contest happening this Friday at lunch, and MHS After Dark is happening this Thursday after school from 7 to 9 p.m. This event is free and open to everyone to come. The NHS blood drive happened today in the library where students can donate blood to save lives. There's usually another opportunity to donate in the spring semester. VSA is hosting a charity show on November 15th in the theater, and tickets are on sale now. People can buy them online at charityshow2025.ludus.com or buy them in person from an officer. This show is raising money for the children of the Vietnam organization, which brings education, sound nutrition, healthcare, and clean water and sanitation to impoverished children in Vietnam. Lastly, Jack Emery season is starting November 10th, and the Jack Emery brunch will be happening November 5th. And that concludes their MHS report.
Thank you. Board group agreements. For the sake of time, we're going to bypass our board group agreements, and we're going to go directly into board communication requests, starting with Dr. Naka online.
Thank you, President Norbert. Yeah, you're able to hear me? Yeah, I can. You're able to hear me?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, President Norbert. Unfortunately, I couldn't be there today to celebrate the Diwali, and I can see the vibrant colors. Thank you for taking time to be inclusive and part of our celebrations. And I would like to wish all the community and the families the warm wishes for everyone who celebrates Diwali. May your festival be safe, joyful, and filled with new beginnings, health, harmony, and prosperity. And thank you so very much. That's it for now.
Thank you. Trustee No.
I will waive my time.
Board Clerk Jung.
I will also just say Happy Diwali, and I'm done.
Vice President Yip Chuan.
Happy Diwali, and that concludes my report.
Thank you. Yes, happy Diwali. I had the opportunity to visit the Tamil Academy at Milpitas High School, a program that that was launched a couple of years ago, continuing to thrive and serving a number of students in the Milpitas Unified School District. They are going to share a report with us in terms of how the program is doing, how it has grown, and how many Milpitas Unified School District students that serve, and how they can also deepen their partnership with the school district. Also, I was able to participate in the St. Vrain trip with the superintendent and team to really learn about the future of where Milpitas Unified School District is going, as she has stated, and excited to see the work that's going to be moving forward in that area. We all attended, saw Kelly Yip Chuan as well at the job fair, which was amazing. City of Milpitas Fall Festival, and then also the San Antonio County School Boards Association Legislative Action Committee survey has been completed to move forward so that we can move forward with our legislative action priorities. With that said, we will move on to action item 20, action items. Moving on to item 20, action items, I would like to make a request that we move action item 20A III to the top of the list, because I do believe we have online Supervisor Otto Lee. Supervisor Lee, can you hear us?
Yeah, we got to bring him over to the panelist side. Hold on one second.
He's here in person.
He's here in person.
Oh, he's here in person.
Even
okay.
better.
And he's online, which is amazing.
Okay, so let's start with that action item from the superintendent's office.
Thank you, President Norwood. We have, Mr. Forster and I have worked on the draft resolution that we shared at the last board meeting, October 14th, and we incorporated the discussion that took place at the dais and would like to present to you the resolution and ask for your consideration and approval.
Thank you. We have a public comment on that particular item from the supervisor. Supervisor Lee.
First of all, good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for having me speak tonight. Specifically tonight, I would like to thank you for putting this on the agenda, on the resolution to support the Measure A. Many of you have already gotten your ballots on the mailbox, and the deadline to return this, of course, is the November 4th, which is our election next coming Tuesday. But I just want to mention why Measure A is such an important thing and why the Board of Supervisors is putting it so urgently to this ballot in November. Because July 4th, when HR 1, the so-called big but not so beautiful bill, was passed, and when Congress passed that, what it meant is that it will be a $1 billion hit per year to our county's budget, which of course a lot of it goes to our hospitals and clinics that serves the entire county. If you've heard the latest news, we have, besides the fact that the county has purchased Regional Medical Center, we just reopened the labor and delivery about 1 week ago. So we are actually delivering new babies right now. And of course, Regional Medical Center serves East San Jose, but also Milpitas as well as your main site for emergency room, but also our trauma level 2. So we reopened back in April, and certainly makes a huge difference in terms of hospital wait times and ambulance and whatnot. So to make sure that we could keep these services, whether it's labor delivery, whether it's trauma center, to open in our county, we really need that funding to keep that open. So I just wanted to say, I know I'm preaching to the choir here, I just want to say thank you so much for putting these resolutions on. We really need your help, and let's get Measure A passed. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Scott, you want to bring up the resolution? I'd like the board to take a moment to review the resolution. So I recommend, Scott, if you can go back up to the top, please. Let's start with Trustee No. Will each read a paragraph?
Whereas the governing board of the Milpitas Unified School District, the board, is committed to the well-being and academic success of all students and recognizes that the stability of county-provided safety net services directly affect district families and students' learning, and
Whereas Santa Clara County receives approximately $3.5 billion in federal funding each year, with health coverage programs constituting the single largest source at more than $2.3 billion annually, supporting medical and behavioral health care, food assistance, social services, public health programs, child welfare services, housing, public safety, and other essential services relied upon district families, and
Whereas the county operates one of California's largest public hospital and health care systems, serving all residents regardless of insurance status, and federal funding cuts threaten essential local services, and
Trustee Naka, read the next two.
Whereas a number of Milpitas youth are served by the SEC health system, and
Read the next one as well.
whereas currently SEC Behavioral Health Services provides $520,000 in kind and direct funding for school-linked services, mental health and wellness programs serving our students, and
Student board members.
Additionally, MUSD received approximately $615,000 in medical care funding last school year and a tenuous federal funding for schools. These are services that SCC may be able to provide instead, and
Whereas a federal budget bill signed on July 4, 2025 includes major reductions to health coverage and food assistance programs, and the county currently anticipates more than $1 billion in lost federal revenue per year as a result, and
whereas on August 7th, 2025, the county Board of Supervisors voted unanimously to place a temporary general sales tax increase before the voters at the special election to be held on November 4th, 2025, and
whereas on August 29th, 2025, a Santa Clara County Superior Court judge affirmed the county's declaration of a fiscal emergency in light of unprecedented federal budget cuts, and by doing so, allowed the county sales tax proposal, County Measure A, to advance to the November 4th, 2025 ballot, and
whereas County Measure A proposes a temporary countywide general tax, sales tax increase of 5/8 of a cent, 0.625%, estimated to generate approximately $330 million in annual locally controlled revenue, and to partially mitigate severe several funding losses that threaten Santa Clara Valley's healthcare, hospitals, and clinics, and other critical safety net services, and
Trustee Naka.
whereas the board finds that many district families will be directly impacted by the stability of county safety net services and healthcare access, and that supporting Measure A aligns with the district's mission to provide learning opportunities for all and create nurturing environments where students are inspired and empowered, and
Now therefore be it resolved that the board hereby supports Santa Clara County Measure A, the temporary 5/8% tax, general sales tax proposed, scheduled for voter consideration on November 4th, 2025, adopted this 28th day of October 2025 by the Board of Education of the Milpitas Unified School District by the following vote. Scott, roll call vote. Is there a motion to adopt?
motion.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
second.
We have a
Second.
motion to second. We have a motion and a second. Motion by Trustee Jean, second by Vice President Yip Tuan. Roll call vote.
Okay, roll call vote. We have Cal Hill Student Board Rep Rocha.
Aye.
Very good. And Middle College High School Student Board Rep Gupte.
Aye.
Trustee Naka.
Aye.
Trustee No.
Aye.
Clerk Zhang.
Aye.
Vice President Yip Chuan.
Aye.
And President Norwood.
Aye.
Passes unanimous.
We have unanimous pass of the resolution. Thank you, trustees, for your hard work. Thank you, Supervisor Lee, for your attendance. Resuming our regular agenda, adopt Resolution 2026.11, recognizing October as Filipino American History Month and honoring Larry Itliong Day on October 25th, 2025.
Thank you, President Norwood. I would like to present our resolution recognizing Filipino American History Month, and we met some members of our PUSO club, the Filipino United. Sorry, I drew a blank on the last two.
What does PUSO stand for? Filipino
Do you
United
know what
Student
it stands for?
Organization? Filipinos Unified.
Filipinos Unified Student Organization. Thank you.
Something like that.
Okay, Mr. Forstner, and thank you for your work with the club in making this possible.
Hi, my name is Elise Mina, and I'm the president of Milpitas High School's Filipino Club PUSO. And today we're going to be reading Resolution 2026-11, recognizing October as Filipino American History Month, honoring Larry Itliong Day on October 25th, 2025. Whereas the earliest documented Filipino presence in the continental United States was on October 18, 1587, when the first Luzones Indios set foot in Morro Bay, California, on the Manila-built galleon ship Nuestra Senora de Esperanza, and
whereas the Filipino American National Historical Society recognizes the year 1763 as the date of the first permanent Filipino settlement in the United States in St. Malo, Louisiana, which set in motion the focus on the story of our nation's past from a new perspective by concentrating on the economic, cultural, and social and other notable contributions that Filipino Americans have made in countless ways toward the development of the history of the United States. And
whereas the Filipino American community is the second largest Asian American group in the United States, with a population of approximately 4,100,000 people, including more than 500,000 residing in the Bay Area. And whereas Filipino American servicemen and servicewomen have a long-standing history in the armed forces from the Civil War to the Iraq and Afghanistan conflicts, including the 25,000 Filipinos who fought under the United States flag during World War II to protect and defend this country, with 9 Filipino Americans having received the Congressional Medal of Honor. And
whereas Itliong joined forces with Cesar Chavez, who led a mostly Latino farm workers union, the National Farm Workers Association, and later establishing the United Farm Workers of America Organizing Committee of the ALF-CIO, and
whereas under a bill signed by Governor Jerry Brown in 2015, October 25 is observed as Larry Itliong Day each year and has special significance in public schools and educational institutions. And whereas the Milpitas High School PUSO Club was formed with the purpose of celebrating the Filipino culture amongst the student body. And
whereas Milpitas and Milpitas Unified School District is home to several impactful Filipino leaders such as City of Milpitas Council Member Evelyn Chua, Vice Mayor Gary Barbadillo, as well as MUSD Chief Business Officer Dorothy Reconose, Director Raquel Kuzunoki, CSEA Officer Joy Ulanimo Garcia, Rancho Milpitas MS Principal Vern Caruz, and Kurtner Elementary Assistant Principal Jinky Batanga, and as well as MHS Activities Director Deanna Kurubin. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Milpitas Unified School District encourages the recognition and commemoration of Larry Itliong on October 25th of each year at the district school sites, including the teaching and discussion of his contributions to our local history. Passed and adopted by the Milpitas Unified School District Board of Education at a meeting held on October 28th, 2025 by the following vote.
Is there a motion?
Motion.
Motion.
Oh,
You got it.
we have a motion by Dr. Naka. Is there a second?
Actually, I don't think a remote participant can motion or second.
Okay. Motion.
Okay, we have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and we have a second. Any additional discussion? Scott, roll call vote.
Okay, roll call vote. Cal Hill Student Board Rep Rocha.
Aye.
Middle College High School Student Board Rep Gupte.
Aye.
Trustee Naka.
Aye.
Trustee No.
Aye.
Clerk Jung.
Aye.
Vice President Yip Chuan.
Aye.
And President Norwood.
Aye.
Passes unanimous.
Thank you. I adopt Resolution 2026-12, celebrating and recognizing October as LGBTQIA+ History Month.
Thank you, President Norwood. And our True Colors Club members are featured in this video resolution. And their advisor is Mr. Brett Weber, who is in the audience with us this evening. Thank you, Mr. Forstner, for your support in making this happen.
Resolution 2026-12, celebrating and recognizing October as LGBTQIA+ History Month. Whereas in 1924, German LGBTQ rights activist Henry Gerber formed the Society of Human Rights, which is widely regarded as the first documented gay rights organization in the U.S., leading to the formation of other LGBTQIA+ rights organizations in 1950s, such as the Mattachine Society and Daughters of Blightus. And
whereas from 1965 to 1969, the annual reminders had occurred in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, in which gay rights activists such as Barbara Giddings wore business casual attire in front of Independence Hall in order to bring more awareness to the fundamental belief that everyone in the United States had been created equal. This movement has helped the LGBTQIA+ community prove that they are just as employable as those who are not in the community, giving more room for equal opportunities in the U.S. And whereas in June of 1969, the Stonewall riots occurred in Greenwich City in New York City, consisting of resistance against police raids for 3 days, ultimately going in history as the most significant and impactful event in the history of gay liberation in the United States. And
in June of 1970, 1 year after the Stonewall riots, the first Pride Parade had taken place in New York City, marking the beginning of the biggest celebration held in honor of the LGBTQIA+ achievements. And in 1994, Rodney Wilson, a Missouri high school teacher, believed a month should be dedicated to the celebration and teaching of gay and lesbian history, and gathered other teachers and community leaders. They selected October because public schools are in session and existing traditions such as National Coming Out Day on October 11th occurred that month. And
whereas in 2009, the Matthew Shepard and James Byrd Jr. Hate Crime Prevention Act was passed by President Obama in order to expand previous hate crime legislation to officially categorize crimes motivated by actual or perceived gender, sexual orientation, gender identity, or disability as hate crimes. And whereas the Fair Education Act passed in 2011 and the History Social Science Framework approved in 2016 provide guidance to California educators about LGBTQIA history topics to teach. And
whereas the first Gay Straight Alliance was established at Milpitas High School in 1997, and then True Colors Club was formed in 2018 to support LGBTQ students and the unique challenges faced in adolescence, as well as promote and celebrate those identifying as LGBTQIA+. And
whereas LGBTQIA+ History Month icon should be celebrated as American suffragist Susan B. Anthony, magician Janis Joplin, transgender Supreme Court attorney Shannon Minter, Navajo artist R.C. Gorman, artist and designer of the Pride flag Gilbert Baker, gay rights pioneer Bobby Hatoy, and U.S. Congressman Mark Takano. And
whereas in June of 2020, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled that in the case of Boston versus Clayton County, that LGBTQIA+ community employees are protected from discrimination under Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, extending the protection under federal anti-discrimination law to LGBTQIA+ employees in all 50 states.
Now therefore be it resolved that the governing board of the Milpitas Unified School District join other communities and school districts in our nation in celebrating October as LGBTQIA History Month. and encourage others to observe with appropriate ceremonies and activities that celebrate and promote awareness of the LGBTQIA+ community. Passed and adopted by the Milpitas Unified School District Board of Education at a meeting held on October 28, 2025 by the following vote.
Is there a motion?
Motion.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
I affirm the second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, Scott, roll call vote.
Cal Hill Student Board Rep Rocha.
Aye.
Middle College High School Student Board Rep Gupte.
Aye.
Trustee Naka.
Aye.
Trustee No.
Aye.
Clerk Zhang.
Aye.
Vice President Yip Chuan.
Aye.
And President Norwood.
Aye.
Passes unanimous.
Item B, business services. Approve the solar energy power purchase agreement and solar easement agreement between Solar DGCA Metro Ed LLC and the Metropolitan Education District. Scott, is there any public comments?
We have no public comment at this time.
There is no public comment at this time. Is there a motion?
Move to approve.
We have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any additional discussion?
Just a quick question. What was the reason for San Jose Unified cease and desist?
San Jose Unified has land that Metro Ed is on, and San Jose Unified had determined they're using a portion of the land for workforce housing, and Metro Ed had begun work on that same area of land installing solar panels.
And they resolved it.
Okay, thank you.
Are there any additional discussion? Scott, roll call vote.
Roll call vote. Cal Hill Student Board Rep Rocha.
Aye.
Middle College High School Student Board Rep Gupte.
Aye.
Trustee Naka.
Aye.
Trustee No.
Nay.
Clerk Zhang.
Aye.
Vice President Yip Chuan.
Aye.
President Norwood.
Aye.
Passes 4-1.
Thank you. Item C, learning and development, adopt resolution 2026.16, authorizing Superintendent Jordan to sign the continued funding application, which allows for the continued collaboration of the Milpitas Unified School District and the California Department of Education Early Education Division with the purpose of providing preschool services to qualified students.
So I will pass this over to Executive Director Dorpinghouse for introduction and context.
Good evening. Yes, this is our submission to the board for consideration. This allows Superintendent Jordan to sign, and it allows us to submit for our continued funding application, which goes to the California Department of Education. If the CFA or the continued funding application is approved, it allows us to continue with our contracts for the California State Preschool Program, and then also the pre-kindergarten and family literacy project, the project contract as well. So we're seeking board approval this evening so that we can submit our funding application to the state.
Scott, any public comment?
We have no public comment at this time.
Is there a motion?
Move to adopt the resolution.
We have a motion to adopt the resolution. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any additional discussion? Seeing none, Scott, roll call vote.
Okay, roll call vote. Cal Hills Student Board Rep Rocha.
Aye.
Middle College High School Student Board Rep Gupte.
Aye.
Trustee Naka.
Aye.
Trustee No.
Aye.
Clerk Zhang.
Aye.
Vice President Yip Chuan.
Aye.
And President Norwood.
Aye.
Passes unanimous.
Thank you. Consent items. Consent items are considered routine and will be acted upon by the board in one motion. There is no discussion on these items prior to the motion unless the members of the board, staff, or public request that a specific items be tabled or removed for discussion or correction. Are there any requests for specific items to be tabled or removed for discussion or correction? Seeing none, is there a motion?
Motion.
We have a motion by trustee Jung. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a second by Vice President Yip Chuan. Any additional discussion? Scott, roll call vote.
Okay, roll call vote. Cal Hills Student Board Rep Rocha.
Aye.
Middle College High School Student Board Rep Gupte.
Aye.
Trustee Naka. I'm sorry, we didn't hear you, Trustee Naka.
Aye.
Gotcha. Trustee No.
Aye.
Clerk Jung.
Aye.
Vice President Yip Chuan.
Aye.
And President Norwood.
Aye.
Passes unanimous.
Awesome, thank you. Dates of future board meetings, November 18th, tentative study session 5 p.m., tentative closed session 6 p.m., open session 7 p.m. on hybrid or Zoom, YouTube, Around the World Languages School here at 1300 Edsel Drive. December 9th, tentative study session 5 p.m., tentative closed session 6 p.m., open session 7 p.m., hybrid or Zoom. Are there any additional announcements or reminders? Seeing none, is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
We have a motion to adjourn. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion to adjourn and a second. Scott, roll call vote.
Roll call vote. Cal Hills Student Board Rep Rocha.
Aye.
Middle College High School Student Board Rep Gupte.
Aye.
Trustee Naka.
Aye.
Trustee No.
Aye.
Clerk Jung.
Aye.
Vice President Yip Chuan.
Aye.
And President Norwood.